Since November 2024, U.S. military recruiting has surged across nearly every branch, a dramatic reversal after years of shortfalls. The Trump administration and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says they point to what they're calling renewed sense of patriotism, while others credit policy changes and streamlined recruiting. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins has that story from Washington.
After years of falling short, every major branch of the U.S. military is now reporting a turnaround in recruiting, with some posting historic gains.
7 months ago, we had the worst numbers in recorded history. Nobody wanted to join the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard. Now it's hot as a pistol.
The Army and Navy struggling with recruitment in recent years. In 2023, both missing their goals. In 2024, both lowered the target and barely reached that mark. 2025 saw a major turnaround, with both branches hitting elevated recruitment goals months ahead of schedule. The Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard all posting equally impressive numbers. We spoke with Dan Green, a research fellow at the Heritage Foundation, about the military's struggles to recruit during the Biden administration.
It's a combination of factors, some of which was driven by the Biden administration's policies. Some of it, to be frank, was kind of the moment at the time.
Green argues the military's focus on DEI policies during that era, a lack of focus on merit, mandatory COVID vaccinations, and the withdrawal from Afghanistan all contributed to the recruitment and retention issues. He says the Trump administration and Secretary Hegseth's approach is more successful, including the clarity of mission, focusing on China as an existential threat.
Young men and women across the country they notice these things. They like to see an active military doing things.
And the precision strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities and alleged drug boats in the Caribbean.
To be frank, if it blows up and it's on TV, a lot of people are drawn to those kinds of things, especially young men in America. But yeah, I think it shows that the military is being used for precise things, not for prolonged campaigns with sort of unclear endings.
While debate continues over what exactly is driving the current recruitment surge, one thing is clear: America's military recruiting crisis appears, for now, to be reversing. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
There's no Christmas break for the Trump administration's foreign policy for pushing toward peace between countries in conflict, while also bringing the fight to terrorists around the world. Madison Scarpino is in West Palm with the latest.
Are you expecting Zelensky to come visit you?
We're having I don't know, he would like to come, but I think we should get a deal done first.
That was President Trump last month. Now, Zelensky is planning a trip to Mar-a-Lago on Sunday, as he seems to be pleased with the peace plan the U.S. is proposing. Zelensky posting about a Christmas Day call, saying in part, quote, "Today we had a very good conversation with President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. We are truly working 24/7 to bring closer the end of this brutal Russian war against Ukraine, and to ensure that all documents and steps are realistic, effective, and reliable." But President Trump is reportedly saying Zelensky does not have anything until he approves it, and many experts are hesitant the plan will be successful.
There hasn't been enough pressure to compel the Russians to really enter into a meaningful ceasefire. It's pretty clear that Putin is dead set on trying to obtain through military force the last few fortified cities in the Donbass region.
And on Monday, the president will reportedly meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu. The two leaders are expected to discuss the future of the Gaza peace deal, and Netanyahu will reportedly give Trump an update on Iran and its ballistic missile program. Separately, we're learning more about a deadly Christmas Day strike on ISIS in Nigeria. The deadly strike comes after a surge of attacks on Christians and Christian institutions in the country. The New York Times is reporting the strike involved more than a dozen Tomahawk cruise missiles. Those missiles reportedly fired off a Navy ship in the Gulf of Guinea in coordination with the Nigerian government. And President Trump is threatening to kill, quote, "many more terrorists if the murders continue."
This is another reminder to extremists everywhere, Muslim extremists, Islamists everywhere, that President Trump is going to be ever vigilant.
President Trump told Politico that the strike was originally supposed to happen on Wednesday, but he delayed it to Christmas Day for symbolic reasons. Traveling with the president in West Palm Beach, I'm Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia can see Ukraine's capital is in no hurry to end the war by peaceful means. Putin met with Russian commander at the undisclosed location there, a command post today. The Russian military combat reported back to Moscow's forces had captured several towns in Ukraine's southeastern regions. Putin said that if Ukraine did not want to resolve the conflict peacefully, then Russia would accomplish all goals of its special military operation by force. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the drone and missile attacks overnight demonstrate Russia's wish to continue the war while his country wants peace. 2025 was a tense year for politics in Washington and across the country, but leaders in the nation's capital did find opportunities to work together on cases just about everyone can get behind. National correspondent Eltra El-Nashar looks back at 2025's moments of bipartisanship.
America's partisan divide is wide and on display daily in Congress. But there were times this year, often behind the scenes, when elected officials actually got things done together. In May, the Take It Down Act became law, making it a crime to publish intimate images of someone without their consent, known as revenge porn, including AI-generated content.
That so easily happen to anybody, which is what happened to me.
It also puts onus on social media platforms to remove it.
Today, through the Take It Down Act, we affirm that the well-being of our children is central to our future of our families and America.
In August, the president put his signature on the ACEs Act, which directs the VA to study cancer rates among military pilots and air crews.
These are incredibly healthy, in shape, well-tested individuals, and yet they have almost 30% higher cancer rates than the average civilian population. We need to know the why, and we need to provide our airmen with the air cover for their own health.
Just before Thanksgiving, a win for parents flying with a baby. A new law requires TSA to streamline how it screens breast milk without contamination, an effort years in the making. And in early December, the Medal of Honor Act became law with unanimous support from the House and Senate. It means the roughly 60 living recipients of the Medal of Honor, the military's highest award, will see their monthly pension increase for the first time in 23 years, from $1,400 a month to $5,600.
This bill ensures their extraordinary acts of bravery are not forgotten and that their sacrifices are valued by a grateful nation.
Looking ahead to 2026, it's a midterm election year, so Democrats and Republicans may find it more difficult to reach across the aisle. But some lawmakers we talked to say they're still determined to find ways to tackle tough issues like kids' online safety, regulating AI, and making life more affordable. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra El-Mashar.